Welcome guys to Backwoods Veterans Cooking 2.0. Today we're going to talk about some of the stuff that didn't get discussed in the last Backwoods Veterans Cooking video with Jesse from over there at Eric's Armory when we got back from the range day. Before we get started, please go hit that subscribe button. It helps us out greatly. And don't forget to like and comment on the video and let us know what you guys want to see in the future. With that, we'll just jump right into it. Okay guys, so what we're going to talk about here is a pretty unique system that I didn't have featured on the last episode of Backwoods Veterans Cooking, the one that I did with Jesse after our range day. So we'll go over this. This is the Jetboil base camp system that you see before you. I alluded to it in the last episode of Backwoods Cooking. So this system is not really for backpacking per se. I mean, I suppose you could take it backpacking. It's a little bit heavier. It's meant more for your base camps, for elk camp, for, you know, if you're car camping. This is a great item if you have one of those travel vans and you want to cook out on like a park bench or out at an impacted campsite. That's what I would recommend using this for. It has a lot of options. It has a lot of versatility, and we'll go over some of the features on it. So to start with, here you have what's known as the satellite burner. This is an optional burner that Jetboil sells that plugs into the base camp system itself. It allows you to have a third burner. As you can see with it, it is movable, so you can move it around different areas of a table if you need to. It has a pot support that goes on top of it. Personally, I like to use it for boiling water for coffee. I put my coffee in my teapot on it. Also, you have it plugs in to the gas port directly on the base camp system itself. So it just screws in there and it runs off the gas system on the stove itself. Unlike other Jetboils, which we'll move on to how this thing runs, this Jetboil system runs more like a traditional camp stove. It uses either single pound or single propane bottles that screw in right here, and it just plugs into the back of the stove here, and then you have your gas regulators here and here, plus two gas igniters that are separate that run on the stove. And it can also accept the big guy propane bottles, the ones that you'd use for a barbecue. What are they, like the 5-gallon propane bottle systems. So it can run on those. They do require an additional accessory. They require the actual propane hose that you'd use for a barbecue setup. And it's a great stove system, honestly. The last time I used it was at elk camp this last year. We cooked on it. We made coffee on it. We did all kinds of things with it. It's a super compact system. The way that this thing packs up, everything just unscrews, and we'll go ahead and unscrew some of this. As you can see, the gas feed tube just unscrews from the stove itself, and then you stow it in the bag. Same thing with the satellite burner. Just unscrews and unplugs, and then you stow it in the bag, or in this case on the floor. And then the stove itself just folds up neatly. You have these stove straps, which I need to get a hold of Jetboil because this one broke somehow. It just folds up like that, and it folds up into this nice little package for storage. And it stores away in its carrying case and bag. So same thing to set it up. All you're gonna do is you're gonna open it up, fold the stove out in its basic configuration. Like I said, you have two big burners that you can put a frying pan on. Jetboil makes frying pans that have flux rings on them so that they're more heat efficient. They transfer heat to the cooking surface quicker. They boil water faster than most conventional pots and stoves do. This thing is awesome. It has great simmer control on it. Same thing with the satellite burner. The gas regulator on it is amazing. It does simmer control. You can simmer food, you can do all kinds of stuff with these stoves. They're pretty amazing little stoves. So I would highly encourage you to check them out, and if you have the finances, you know, look into investing one of these. These are an awesome investment for those of you that are big into car camping or adventure van camping or truck camping type stuff like that, or even just for, you can use these for mountaineering base camps too. A lot of people use them for that. They are just, they're heavier. They're not something that you're going to go lightweight backpacking with for sure. So with that, we'll move on to the next. All right, guys, here's my old trusty, rusty, old reliable. This is my classic Jetboil. This is my Mini Mo. This thing has been on many adventures with me. When I was fighting fire, it's been on many fires with me. This thing is pretty amazing, pretty robust system. This is kind of what made Jetboil famous for what they are in canister stoves. So what we have here, like I said, is the Jetboil Mini Mo. It is shorter than your average Jetboil, but it is wider. That way you're getting the same cooking space and the same pot container space versus without the, I guess, the size, if you will. It's a more compact system. This is also one of their stoves that has, at the time when I bought it, their new active simmer control for their burners, which means before with the Jetboil zips, it used to be, it was on or off. There was no in between. There was no adjusting the gas pressure for the most part. It was on or off on these burners. Now they have simmer control. They have a gas valve regulator that allows you to adjust the flow of gas and fine tune it for what you want. So anyways, kind of jumped the gun in on this, but we got it all pulled apart here. So basically you have your components. You have your pot with your flux ring. The flux ring helps exchange heat and it helps boil water quicker than most stoves. They burn very efficiently, and then they're just very efficient cooking stoves for a canister stove. And then you have the burner. Like I said, you have an adjustable gas regulator that allows you simmer control just by use of this knob. It has an igniter for igniting your fuel once you get it all set up. Then you have your can support for your fuel canisters, and of course your fuel can comes with a little bowl that has measuring marks on it to measure out water, measure out food. It's kind of like a measuring cup. I use it as a bowl frequently. And then of course you have your lid, which has these nifty little strainer spouts, so you can strain things like pasta, noodles, all that good stuff. And then it has a opening right here, so if you want to use this as a mug, you can use it as a mug and have a lid on it without spilling your hot cocoa or your coffee or whatever you want to drink out of it. So with that, we'll go ahead and set it up. So setup is fairly simple. Take the burner, and then you take your fuel can and remove the top, and then these just screw together. Just thread this fuel can onto the bottom. You go ahead and set your fuel can down onto your stove support, and then the pot itself just snaps down into place. Turn it and it locks on. Super simple setup, super compact, very lightweight, and it gives you simmer control, and it gives you the ability to cook full meals in the backcountry. So this is my go-to setup for backpacking. It gives you everything that you need. To include, it comes with one of these pot supports, so you can take off the canister of the stove, and then you can thread on one of these pot supports, and that gives you the ability to throw on like a frying pan or a bigger size pot if you need to. It gives you more options and flexibility to cook with. So if you need a frying pan, say if you brought steak or something like that into the woods, which I'm not sure why you would, but for bread and for like tortillas and stuff like that, these pans are very handy. Yeah, it allows you the ability to use a fry pan, or what we call a fry bake. So again, they're versatile stoves, and they're easy to use, very user friendly, adjustable gas regulators, and of course an igniter. The old style Jetboil zips didn't have an igniter. You had to light them with a lighter or a match. Their igniters are pretty robust, and they work pretty damn good. So we'll move on to the next stove. Okay guys, so what we have here is actually one of my favorite stove setups that I actually have. This stove has actually been through a lot with me in the years. This is called the MSR Pocket Rocket. Yes, go ahead and laugh, no pun intended. This little guy right here, this little package has a stove in it, and it's a pretty awesome little stove. Basically it comes in the container, you just open it up, and then this is your stove. The little support legs fold out, and then you have your can, your fuel can, and just throw it on there like so. Just threads right on there, and it's ready to go. This stove is awesome because it doesn't take up a lot of room. It's lightweight, and it boils water very quickly. Like the old Jetboil Zips, this stove does not have an adjustable gas regulator. It is basically all on or it's all off. There's no in between. There's no simmer control. It's basically, this is just to boil water. So this is something that you would use specifically for, you know, mountain house meals, boiling water for coffee. I use it for coffee. This now lives in my hunting pack most of the time for hunting seasons, and I boil water for coffee with it. So here we're going to do a quick rundown, brief rundown on some of the accessories that you can get for your Jetboil or your MSR or any stove system that you're going to run, whether it's for backpacking or car camping, you name it. Just some brief, in my opinion, some must-have accessories. So like many of you, I'm sure, I love coffee in the mornings. So obviously having, you know, reusable coffee filter of some kind or the AeroPress is essential. And what good is those filters going to do without any, or those coffee makers going to do without silverware? Same thing for food, for that matter. If you cook the food, how are you going to eat it? I mean, I suppose you could eat it with your hands, but I personally like to have a nice spork. So Sea to Summit makes some good spork backpacking kitchen sets that come with a knife and a spork. Jetboil makes their own utensils, so they have this nifty little spatula and then a spoon. They also have a fork that they sell. I personally like to carry this teapot. It's very lightweight. It's aircraft grade aluminum. It doesn't take up much space. You can pack stuff inside of it so you can optimize storage space. And then of course for longer stays out in the woods, I like to have like an actual cook set. So here I've got like a little salt and pepper shaker. This little kit is actually made by MSR. Again, selfless plug to them. They make some awesome stuff. Inside I keep a lighter for backup in case an igniter goes out. It comes with a little scraper and a brush. It comes with a serving spoon. It comes with a spatula that also has serrades on it so you can use it as a knife. It comes with a little dish towel and then a little mini cutting board for, you know, cutting up veggies or meat or anything that needs to be cut, basically. So basically you have a little mobile, you know, Backwoods kitchen at your disposal. But yeah, those are some of the basics that I like to take with me into the woods. And then if I know I'm going to be cooking anything substantial like a steak or hamburger or something that's big for a couple people, I have this awesome fry pan that I showed you guys earlier in the earlier video with the Jetboil base camp system. So this frying pan is awesome. It's ceramic and titanium. A little bit spendy, but it's very lightweight. It's very durable. It's not going to break on you, and it's truly non-stick. The backwoods cooking industry, I guess if you want to call it that, has gone leaps and bounds over the years. The technology that's out there and available to us is pretty impressive and pretty amazing. So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Backwoods Veterans Cooking 2.0. If you guys are interested in any of the products that have been demoed in this video, I have included links to the manufacturers in the description. Please click on those if you're interested in learning more about these items, or if you want to purchase these items, just go to those links. Don't forget to head over to our webpage or in our Facebook. Make sure you like and share out this video, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. Please, that is what helps us the most. That's what helps us keep doing what we want to do for you guys, our viewers. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you next time.